Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is my 2024 Tesla Model 3 Long Range All-Wheel Drive. And I've owned this car for about a year and I'd say about a year and 4 months now. And we're going to talk about some annoying things that I've learned about this car over owning it for the past year and 4 months. And these are not deal breakers. I still really like the car. It's a great daily driver. It's been a great car. It hasn't had very many issues, but we'll talk about a few things that are kind of annoying about owning the car. So first things first, the paint. The paint chips super easily. Now this is a lease. I'm not too concerned about it because it's like normal wear and tear, but hopefully I don't get dinged for it when I turn in the lease. But you can see the paint chips very easily, right? So there's a big rock chip right there. And then there's tons of them along the front of the vehicle. Some of these are just dirt spots, but a lot of them are rock chips as well. And you know, the paint just, you know, it's not the highest quality. It gets rock chips really easily. I got a door ding that I got fixed right here, and you can see it broke the paint, so I might have to get that repainted. But yeah, the paint is just not the greatest. I think there's even a little spot back here. Just kidding, that's dirt. But yeah, the paint is not the greatest quality, so that's something that you have to be aware of if you have a Tesla. A lot of people, they do PPF on theirs, so obviously that will combat that issue if you have a PPF on the whole front end of the car. But you know, it'd be nice to have a little bit better paint quality. For number two, let's go and hop inside. So this one is kind of a nitpicky one, but it's just something I've noticed. So the door stops, right? We have 1, 2, and 3, but they're not very pronounced. So sometimes if you open the door too fast, it will hit the end and then it'll come right back and then close on you again. So like, let me show you an example here. Don't mind the planes. But like, let's say I want to get out of the car quickly, right? I open the door like this and I go like that, and then it literally starts closing on me. Now I'm parked actually slightly at a tilt like this, so that's why it's not as bad. But literally you'll open the door all the way and it'll come right back and close on you, especially if you're on like a little bit of a hill. So when you open the door, you kind of have to like make sure it stays in the stop, because it will come back and close on you. And then also on the rear door, it's kind of weird as well. On the rear door, it has like this resistance when you try to close it. So opening it has a little bit of resistance as well, but it has 1 and 2, right? But when you close it, you can't just go like this and close it, right? Like it kind of like stops. See? Like you have to really, if you want it to close, or you have to kind of push it all the way closed. Or like if you're in a tight area and you can only open it up like this much or whatever, you get something out and you just try to close it real quick, like it doesn't close, right? And again, very nitpicky minor stuff, but just something I've noticed. My Golfs didn't have that issue. Even the RS3, when you open up the back door, didn't have an issue where you have to really slam it to get it to close on its own. All right, next up is the car has a lot of like warning messages that pop up. So for example, like my tire pressures, right? They're supposed to be at 42 cold, but if these get down to like 37, which is not that far off from 42, you'll get a message every time you get in the car that your tire pressure is low, and you'll have a little light up here in the corner, or I think it's this corner, that shows that your tire pressures are low. So that warning light always comes on even when your tire pressures aren't even that low. And then another thing that always pops up now is, probably since I've had the car for a while, this glass that's on the outside of this little piece right here, it houses like the camera and all that other stuff, that gets foggy, and obviously you can't clean it because it's hidden behind this thing. So Tesla will clean it for free if you schedule it with a service center, and I do have it scheduled. But one thing that's really annoying is that your message will keep popping up. You know, when you drive the car, when you use full self-drive, it'll keep saying, schedule service to clean screen, schedule service clean screen. And it'll cover up this bottom area here. So if you're like trying to change your music or do something down here, you have to keep moving that warning message out of the way. All right, guys, and the last one I'm going to talk about while we're still sitting here in this parking lot is the Rattles. So there's not a ton of Rattles. It's not horrible, but the sound system rattles like crazy on certain songs that have a certain amount of bass in them. And then the steering column, like when I drive, I kind of like to grip the steering wheel and stuff, especially if I'm like making sharp corners and stuff and doing some handling tests and all that. And like you can kind of hear, I'm going to be quiet, you can hear the kind of steering column like I don't know, rattling around. Can you hear that? And it's worse when it's like, I don't know if it's worse when it's hot, but you can just tell just by grabbing it, like it just makes noise. So when you're gripping the steering wheel, right, you can hear it kind of like rattling a little bit. And I think it's these plastic pieces back here. I don't know if you guys can see. I think it's these. I don't know what it is, but it kind of makes some rattling noises. But yeah, you can kind of hear it there. So that's just like when you're driving, right? If you don't have the sound up full blast, you can hear the rattling on the steering wheel. Again, nitpicky stuff, but just little annoyances, right? But the thing that's most annoying, and the thing I'm actually bringing in for service for, this is terrible. The sound system is super good in this car. It has great bass. It sounds clear and everything, but the rear deck rattles. So let me give you an example. Let's go back there. And yes, don't judge me for the song I'm about to play, but it's great at demonstrating the bass. Listen to this. This is freaking ridiculous. So it's like this thing's like rattling somehow. So like, if I put my hand on it, it doesn't make noise. And then if I let go, it does the rattle. Completely unacceptable. That's literally embarrassing. All right, guys. For the last part of the video, we are going to do a little POV drive. But another thing I wanted to mention is if you live in an area that gets cold, like it's 67 degrees outside right now. So this is not a good example, but you can see my little bar right there. I don't have full regen, which means the battery isn't like, the battery's still cold right now because I don't have full regen. And it's not that my charge percentage is too high because I'm at 81%. So electric cars, the downfall to them is that they lose performance in cool weather. So when it's cold outside, you're not going to have your regenerative braking. And yes, you can go in the settings and make it apply your normal brakes. But I like to know that when I let off the throttle, it's completely regenerative braking and it's not like using the own brakes. So I don't like to have that feature on because I don't know when it's actually regenerating and when it's actually using the brakes. All right, guys, so as I was saying, when the vehicle's cold, right, and it's cold outside, you don't have full regen and you also don't have full performance. So as you know, the Model 3 Long Range is actually a pretty quick car, the Long Range all-wheel drive. And you don't get full performance if the battery's not warm and if you're not at full charge. So that's kind of inherent of electric vehicles. It's not necessarily like something bad about Tesla, but you know, if the battery is cold, then you're not going to have your full performance. It's still plenty fast, but you know, just like how a gas car slows down in heat, certain gas cars are not very good with like cooling. Electric cars are not good with cold because they don't have the best performance, they don't charge as fast in the cold, and then also sometimes your regenerative braking is not like fully on, if that makes sense. Because this little bar right here, how there's little dots at the end, that means that's not fully like regenerating when I slow down, or it's not using the full amount of force. And again, these are minor things, but just, you know, little annoyances. Definitely not deal breakers though. It's still a fantastic car, which leads me to my next point. And you know, after owning the car for a year and 4 months, I think I already did like a 1 year review or 12,000 miles or 15,000 miles, whatever it was. But after owning the car, would I buy it again? Yes, because the car just makes so much sense to own. But I don't know, like I don't have any like emotional attachment to this car, and you probably shouldn't have an emotional attachment to a car, right? Because they're replaceable. But this car is just, it's a great car. It's great at what it does. I'm really happy with it, but it's like, there's no like emotion here, right? Like I'm not like, oh, I just love my Long Range. Like with my M2, I love that car, right? It's such a great car. I love everything about it, right? And I can deal with the little, you know, problems and stuff that car has. Not necessarily problems, but annoyances, just like, you know, the minor stuff that this car has. And I can go over that in a separate video. But, oh, look, there's the message I was talking about. See, camera visibility limited, clean all dirt and debris from camera. You know, I can't look at my stuff. I have to keep clearing that out of the way, and it'll pop up like more than once during one trip. So that's kind of annoying, but I already have a service visit scheduled for that because I'm not trying to take this off and mess around with that. I'm gonna let the service people do that. sorry, got off on a little tangent, but the car is great. Like, I recommend for someone that wants a great daily driver. It's like I use it as if I would use a Toyota Corolla, right? Except for this car, I can actually race because it's fast, but I would use it the same way a Corolla, right? You just get in the car, it works, it's A to B, works great, you know. That's kind of how I feel about this car. Let's see how the performance is at 77. Yeah, still very impressive. It's a very quick car, especially at low speeds. Like a 40 roll, as this car is like sweet spot. A 40 roll, this car can boogie at 40. But it's only limited to 125, which is a little disappointing, but whatever. Love how luxurious it is and all the features and the self-driving. I use the self-driving every day. I literally use the self-driving every day. And thanks to you guys using my referral code, I use my referral credits to pay for it. But, you know, to pay for the monthly, I don't pay for the full thing. I'm not about to spend $8,000 on it, but, or whatever it costs. But the self-driving is great. It's very smart. You know, it's great for when you get off of work and you're tired, or if you need to eat in the car or something like that. It's just great. Or if you're in an area that you're unfamiliar with, the car can drive itself, so you don't have to stress so much about it. You can just focus on like looking at your surroundings and what's going on. Let's see if we can do a little, okay, this Tesla in front of us is going kind of slow. He's got himself a spoiler though, so he means business. Okay, no, he doesn't mean business. He's going really slow. All right, let's get around all this. Oh, I was going to talk about the brakes. So another thing about this car that's kind of annoying is the brakes. So in the rain, this car cannot stop. If you have to make like an emergency stop in the rain, you're going to keep pushing forward. So that's another downside, is the brakes are not good. Definitely not made for performance driving, which, you know, that's why the Model 3 Performance exists. But even that car, I heard some, you know, complaints about the braking on those as well. But the brakes on this car are not the greatest. Emergency stops, I mean, you can't stop the fastest in this car. All right, guys, we're on a little back road here, and I'm gonna demonstrate to you guys an ABS stop. Just make sure nothing's gonna fly around. All right, here we go. We're going, say we're going 70 when you do an ABS stop. Actually, that was kind of scary, but that was not bad actually. Well, it's gripping pretty decent on this surface, but there's a lot of surfaces that it doesn't grip very good on. And you'll feel the feedback in the brake pedal, and it doesn't really inspire a lot of confidence to make like fast stops. And in the rain, forget about it. At least here in Vegas, when it rains, it's super slippery, and the car is like, these tires, these stock tires, now they put different stock tires on them now, but these are the hand cooks. Look, there it is again. See, that message keeps popping up. Super annoying. I have no way of like making that go away until I bring it to the service center and have the camera cleaned. So very annoying. Look, interior residue cleaning popped up again, so I have to keep clearing that out every time. But yeah, I do really like this car though. I think it's great. I'm definitely considering getting another Tesla once the lease is up on this, but it just depends on if I plan on getting like a used Tesla, like a cheap one, and just use it as a daily, and then like have two fun cars, because I'm gonna keep the M2 regardless. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. If I get another Tesla and a fun car, or if I just get a Model 3 Performance, or I don't know what I'm gonna do next, but I'm still weighing my options. I wanna hear what you guys think. I've toyed around some different ideas and stuff, and maybe I'll make a separate video on all the cars I'm considering, like either getting as a third car or replacing this car when it's up, because there's a lot of cars I'm thinking about. But if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.